will put myself on the highest platform possible and just be extremely authentic. Watch what happens.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Branding and what that looks like too.
You know, I wish somebody just told me my first year in real estate, just focus on your brand.
What does that mean?
Just focus on establishing your brand.
But everybody says that, Scott. Yeah. What does that mean?
It's the consistency. It's showing your brand who you are. Build that out. Get deep with it. You know, put it on a high platform so people, the stronger your brand is, the more relevant, the more substance you'll have with whatever means of marketing that you do. It's that brand, right? It's the best way I could explain build your brand. It's like literally focus on what your brand, what is your brand made up of? What's the meaning behind your brand? What does your brand indicate? Right. And spread that out there and get very consistent with it. You know, and branding is created by many things visually, you know, but there's a lot of substance behind your brand too.
Walk us through a bit of a process from your side. I mean, we can throw our 2 cents in on like what are you, when you made your brand, I'm not sure if you're making a new one or your original one, what were kind of, even, you know, high level, what were some of the processes you went through? Because there's certain things that people start in different places, right? So some people start with like how they want to be perceived. It could be a name, it could be certain colorings. Like, yeah, I would love to hear from your perspective, how you kind of get started. If someone's listening, they're like, I want to make a real estate brand for myself and really, you know, put myself out there. What would you recommend? How would you start?
I think the first thing you focus on before you actually are putting your brand together is you know, what direction are you going into? Where's your focus, right? And everything is kind of built from there. I mean, I say this all the time, like to agents that I talk to, like my daughter, when she was 6 months old, like she's the face of my brand. If you actually go to my social media and you see that and you see my logo, that's actually her. And so that brand kind of represents, I've tied in families that need to upsize based on my brand. And so your brand is like, it's my brand is my substance, my brand story, my backstory, who I am, you know, what kind of my goal is, where I'm focused. So a lot of it, your brand is very, it's very personal to a degree, but you're also kind of lining up to your brand is lining up to who you're trying to target or what your story is, if that makes sense.
100% it does.
Do you feel like as you evolve, your brand will evolve in the sense that it will start shifting focus on who you actually serve as well?
Yeah, I do.
Right? Because it seems like where everything that you've said is your brand is you, where you are in your life today, which means it's not going to be the same thing a year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road either, right?
Yeah, I think I like, if you look at my brand, for example, so, you know, moving to where I am now, Collingwood, and when I said I'm changing some things up and we're tweaking stuff, like my brand's evolved based on the market, but it still has the substance of my brand, right? So like, I'm going to be implementing the McNamara Group, that's my wife's last name, but it's going to be by the Tranquility Method. And that's my brand. So when you look at Alberta, you look at Edmonton, that's what you see, right? That's all people see is that Tranquility Method, because that's my brand. It's that.
Why are you choosing to make your brand more of your partner centric as opposed to you?
Well, it's not just going to be her. It's going to be both of us, right? She's going to be more on the platform because, again, I'm going to be kind of stepping back and really zoning in on a lot of the brand overall in the marketing.
So
But
more of the behind the scenes.
yeah, no, I'm still going to have content. I'm still going to be a licensed realtor. I'm still going to be going in the field. I'll still be taking on listings and things like that. Our content will be will be both of us and whatever other team member that we bring on. Right. But the core is that brand, right? Everything else is just like a sub from that.
You touched on something that I think is, and again, being vulnerable, this is a trap I got caught in years back. And now I realize it. And now where I'm at, today, I'm like, it's stupid, but you can't see it back then, especially when you're newer. Brand today you don't have to build the brand that you want in 10 years today. You build the brand that serves you today, and then it is allowed to evolve. I think people get trapped. I know I did. I 100% got in this trap. I was like, I've got to come up with this huge name and it's going to be like $1 billion enterprise. And I'm like, what name is like $1 billion? And you're like, holy fuck. And you really like, even just like a lower level, like, do you know how much a domain, like, I don't know, HubSpot or Tesla and all these are? They're 6 figures just for like these company names, and people own them already, right? So forgetting about all that shit, it's like, like you said, it's like, this is who we are today. And then let's say the team evolves in a different direction. For example, you're like, actually, I'm going to stop doing families. I want to just focus on veterans. There's nothing stopping you making that slow pivot. And it doesn't have to be an overnight. It's like a transition period, right? Where you kind of do both. And it's like, if you're listening to this, don't get tied up in a brand where it's like, well, I'm serving buyers now, but I really want sellers. So I'm going to build a brand around sellers. I know, just build a brand for what you got now to grow your business now. And then you make that transition when it happens.
And you are going to make a transition throughout your career. Of course you are.
Right.
Like we've established a pretty solid brand back in Alberta. I mean, it is what it is. When we transition over here, we're going to have to switch in certain areas. There's going to be some shifts, and that's okay. That's okay, because
here's a great example. Look at Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook has now rebranded to Meta after how many years?
Right.
Because they evolved as a company. Now they've been evolving for the last however long. They've just now made the announcements, right? So if those big guys can do it, why can't we do it?
But is there a difference? Is there a difference in evolving or just switching directions from confusion? You know what I mean? Like there is a difference there, right? Evolve.
Interesting way of putting it.
That's actually an interesting way of think about it, right? Because also the other thing that I would argue is that if you're not evolving and your brand isn't changing, it means you're staying static, which probably the experience now starts becoming very inauthentic for the people that you're serving.
Right. I think you just nailed it there. Right. And it has to be authentic. And that's why I keep going back to the brand is, what is your brand? Who are you? Yeah, you're pulling that together for a reason so you just nailed it there.
For example, like if anybody comes to like my Instagram, for the 5 people that ever tune into my stories, they're going to see my family. They're going to see cars. They're going to see boats. They're going to see real estate. If they don't fucking like it,
go away.
Get off my page.
Exactly.
So there's only 5 people there, right? But that's my point. Before, when you're trying to, almost appeal to everybody and you're trying to tiptoe, how long can you fake it until you're like, I've had enough?
Yeah. When you're looking at going in that direction now, talking about, trying to please everyone, there's something pretty liberating about just owning,
not giving a fuck.
Yeah, not giving a fuck and really just giving your everything to that type of person that you're connected with.
Because you're always going to piss them off no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And by trying to please everybody, you don't please anybody, and you actually hurt yourself twice as much, because then the people that you could have vibed with, they're going to be like, oh, that shit's fake as hell.
Yeah, that's a very strong point you've made there. And it's just being authentic, right? Because look, consumers are extremely intelligent, right? From just how the industry and how things have shifted and how social media is such a stronger platform right now. And that's where pretty much everyone, gravitates towards. Yeah, they see that. And so being authentic is, yeah, you nailed it.
It's half the battle.
It is.
But so if you're listening to this, Andrew, before you say anything, we fucking give you guys permission to be yourself, be authentic, and be genuine, and stop giving a fuck about people who don't give a fuck about you, because we're all self-centered and selfish, and about pleasing them. Just do you. It's okay.
Amen. Amen.
It's
100%.
okay.
Amen. 100%. Like, look, I'm not a suit and tie guy. You know, I got tattoos all over my body. Yeah. Someone actually told me in Collingwood, they're like, yeah, you're moving to Collingwood. You know, it's, you know, there's a lot of luxury there, and, you know, there's a lot of tight teams and this and that. You should probably think about changing and maybe suiting up and less tattoos. I'm like, am I fuck? I'll do my thing. I'll focus on my people, and I will put myself on the highest platform possible and just be extremely authentic. Watch what happens. Watch what happens.
Yeah, it's these limiting beliefs. We loop back on this on like almost with every guest, because these are just like, they're self-imposed because you but choose to believe them, but they're out there for others who are kind of saying it. It's like I always say as well, like I don't listen to the news, like, because I don't want these like negative thoughts, self-imposed bullshit that's going around. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I miss something on the news and then I'll go somewhere and I'll be like, what's going on? And they'll be like, it's on the news, mate. And I'll be like, oh fuck. But I'll take those few fuck ups in my life. I think, you know, yeah, I think Pete absolutely literally fucking nailed it there. And it's like, the other thing about being authentic, there's two, and you know, we'll wrap up on this, but there's two big points on this, right? It's like, one, if you're authentic, you'll never get tired. The people who are inauthentic get tired because they have to hold a facade up for so long that they literally burn out, which is mental. Like, you don't realize this, but all the people on Instagram, you're like, oh, their life looks great. Again, I'm generalizing.
Quick snapshot of
their life looks great. Look, they've got a fucking, I don't know, McLaren, and they're on a boat in front of a mansion, and they've got this beautiful wife, husband, whatever. And it's like, yo, like, take yourself way back from that stuff, like way back. And the other thing is, when you're authentic to who you are, no one else in the world's you. So your brand will be unique and you will stand out. It's a bit like what me and Peter are doing. It's like, some people, we discuss this, some people hate the fact that we swear. And some people find it so liberating. They come on, they're like, am I allowed to swear? And we're like, fuck yeah. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
This is our show. You can do whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I don't have to kind of think about not doing that stuff. And I'm like, no, this is about you being you. And what are you talking about? Like, this is our platform.
How exhausting is it to be fake? It's like you're going to be, or you're going to be truthful, or you're going to tell lies. Yeah. When you tell lies, how exhausting is that to, you know what I mean? To keep up, right? Yeah, absolutely. Like, how exhausting would that be to be fake over and over again? And like I said, people tune into that. They know.
Yeah, 100%. So, Scott, with that being said, it's been awesome. Now, I want to give you the floor. You're obviously a rock star. You're moving to Edmonton. You're growing a team. You're doing this amazing stuff with the Listing Lab. Tell people what you got going on, how they can reach out to you, you know, what you're doing. You know, the floor is yours, because I know you're doing some great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Instagram, Facebook, Scott Holliday Real Estate. I think all of your agents that are listening right now, that if they're not clear or understand who the Listing Lab are or what they do, they definitely need to go to her Facebook group. It's the Listings Lab Method for Real Estate Agents. So definitely want to do that for sure. Jess Lenenville is revolutionizing the industry. She really is. And there is so much value that she gives into this group. So you definitely want to check that out. And we're just, you know, over the next couple of months, we're getting situated in a new city. And, you know, I'm going to have a lot of content coming out, a lot of things, and building a team. I'm excited, man.
Look forward to seeing it too.
Yeah, I'm excited. So
I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to schedule something, say, for kind of the summer of next year.
Yeah.
And just be like, we had Scott on, he was like episode, you know, I can't remember what we're on, nearly 100. And it's like, oh, somewhere in that region. And it's like, he came on, this is what he said he was going to do. So actually, what we're going to do, this is you being held accountable.
We're gonna put him on the spot.
Oh, here we go.
Accountability right here.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. I've already started a little bit of content, and I have a good friend that lives in Collingwood here, and he owns a plane, and so I said, look, take me up in Collingwood. I'm going to do some content. I'm going to record shit. We're going to do a whole bunch of amazing stuff here. He's in this little plane. We fly off. We're about 3,000 feet in the air. I've never been on a small plane. I commercial airliners. Yeah. I've never been on a small plane like that. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. No content. I said, you need to land now. So he did. He immediately landed. And so that squashed that idea. So I'm going to, hopefully try and do that again. But it was horrifying. So
I actually think that was amazing content, because it's an amazing metaphor of people in real estate trying to go digital.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, there you go. There you go. So I did manage to capture some footage, but it was horrifying. But I got some other
actual footage of what it feels like going digital. to
hang up that phone and put the message to the right people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, scary at times. Scott, it's been amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your secrets with us. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do here in the future. And thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. Now, before you go, we're giving access to a private training we did where we revealed the top 3 niches to get listings today completely for free. So if you want access, you can go and download that training at eliteagentsecrets.com. We're regularly releasing new trainings, guides and cheat sheets, so make sure to head over to eliteagentsecrets.com and sign up so you don't miss out.